Right now, one of your drivers may have 6 penalty points on their licence that you don't know about, or a disqualification, or a medical condition that affects their ability and fitness to drive. If they're involved in an accident while driving one of your vehicles and you can't demonstrate it that you've checked, the consequences land on your business, not just on them. I'm Jim from PocketBox. In this video, I'm going to cover what the law actually says about driving licence checking, what happens when it goes wrong, and what a proper system looks like. Under the Health and Safety at Work Act and Highway Code, any business that requires employees to drive, whether in a company vehicle or on their own, has a legal duty to ensure those drivers are entitled to drive. That means holding a valid licence appropriate for the vehicle category. No endorsements that would make them a risk, no disqualifications. The DVSA and HSE have both made that clear. I didn't know is not a defence. If you employ someone to drive and you haven't verified their licence is valid and appropriate, you're liable. This applies to everyone who drives for work. Sales reps in their own car workers in company vans, HGV drivers, construction site operatives. If they drive in the course of their job, you have a duty of care to check. What actually happens when this goes wrong? Insurance is void. Most fleet insurance policies have a condition that requires the policyholder to take reasonable steps to ensure drivers are qualified and entitled to drive. If you can't demonstrate that you checked, your insurer can refuse to pay a claim. On a serious accident involving a HGV, that exposure is enormous. Corporate liability. If there's a fatality or a serious injury and emerges that the driver had convictions or disqualifications you weren't aware of, the business and potentially directors personally could face prosecution under the corporate manslaughter legislation. DVSA enforcement. Operator licence holders can face investigations that put the licence itself at risk. For businesses that depend on their operator licence to operate, that's real damaging. Financial penalties, fixed penalty notices for using an unlicensed driver, plus civil liability and any subsequent legal action. There are 2 ways to check driving licences. Manual DVLA checks. You ask each driver to share their driving licence summary from the DVLA portal. They generate a code, they enter it onto the DVLA website, and then it gives them their current licence status, categories and endorsements. The problem with this, it takes time. It relies on drivers doing it promptly, and it's a point-in-time check. If a driver picks up points the day after the check, you don't know until the next cycle. Automated checks. You connect to the DVLA's digital check-in service. Drivers give consent once. The system checks automatically at whatever frequency you sent, monthly, quarterly, and it flags any changes. You get a notification the moment something changes on a licence. For any fleet with more than a handful of drivers, automated checking is the only way to manage this at scale without it becoming a full-time job. What a proper licence checking process looks like. Written consent from every driver, required by the DVLA. Get this on day 1 of employment and keep it on file. Regular, automated checks, quarterly minimum. Monthly, maybe for higher risk roles. Then the escalation process. What happens when a check flags something? Who decides whether a driver continues to work? What's documented? What records are kept? Every check, every result, every decision stored and accessible for the audit. We have a free licence check template on our website. And if you want to see how automated licence checking works inside PocketBox, book a demo. It takes about 20 minutes and the link's below.